The people making the most money from music today aren't musicians. They don't write songs. They don't sing. They don't perform. What they do is build systems, platforms that turned music into data and data into dollars. These are the architects of digital soundscapes, the silent operators behind every stream. They understand that music, once purely an art form, is now a utility, packaged, priced, and optimized for scale. In their world, emotion meets engineering, creativity bends to code, and every note becomes a metric in a global race for attention and influence. Love what you're watching. Scan the QR to join the community. This is the story of how streaming platforms quietly changed the music industry forever. A shift that looked harmless at first. Harmless because it was hidden behind sleek apps, friendly interfaces, and colorful album art. But beneath that surface was a transformation as radical as the invention of recorded music itself. What used to be about albums and ownership became about access, algorithms, and endless scrolls. A revolution that made music more available, yet more controlled. Beautiful on the outside, but coated with decisions shaped by business models and corporate incentives few fans ever see. When Spotify launched in 2008, it promised freedom. Millions of songs available anytime, anywhere. No need for CDs. No need for piracy. Just endless music for a monthly fee. It felt like the future, and for a moment, it was. The platform painted a new era, one where music wasn't a product but a service. It removed physical limits. It reduced barriers. But what it also did, quietly, was rewire the relationship between artist, audience, and profit, redefining value not by ownership, but by play counts, user retention, and invisible algorithms tuned to maximize engagement over expression. But while listeners danced to the rhythm of unlimited access, something was happening behind the scenes. Labels, once the undisputed kings of the music world, started making moves, not to control the music itself, but to control the platforms delivering it. They saw that the real money wouldn't be made from sales anymore. It would be made from streams, clicks, and platform equity. And so they pivoted. They invested. They signed platform deals instead of just artists, quietly embedding themselves into the infrastructure, trading content for ownership stakes in the very tools reshaping music's future. Streaming didn't just change how we listen to music. It changed who owned it. And in doing so, it changed what ownership even meant. For the listener, access replaced collection. For the artist, exposure replaced royalties. For platforms, data became more valuable than downloads. What looked like a democratization of sound was actually the blueprint for a data empire, where control belonged to whoever managed the pipes, not the content flowing through them, but the algorithms, analytics, and recommendation engines driving the rhythm of global consumption. Under the surface. A new financial model had taken hold. Listeners paid a subscription fee each month. That money was pooled and then divided based on what everyone listened to. Not what you listened to, what the majority listened to. It was like voting with your ears, only the ballots were counted by machines. And in this machine, popularity was currency. But it didn't always reflect quality, diversity, or even fairness. So if you spent the entire month playing obscure Nigerian Alte artists, your money didn't go to them. It went to Drake, to Bad Bunny, to whoever topped the global charts that month. In essence, you were subsidizing global stardom while trying to support your favorites. That's the irony of pro-rata streaming. Your taste may be niche, but your money fuels the mainstream. It's democratic in name but deeply skewed in structure. It was called the pro-rata model, and it was designed to reward the already big. Not intentionally, but algorithmically. The system isn't evil, it's just efficient. It pushes content that performs and ignores the rest. It doesn't nurture creativity. It optimizes for attention. As a result, the gulf between indie and superstar widened, and middle-tier artists slowly began to disappear from the economics of music altogether. As the money scaled up, the system scaled out. And while global superstars got richer, most artists were left with tiny fractions of revenue. The average payout per stream? Less than half a cent. Many musicians now rely on merchandise, tours, and brand deals just to survive. It's no longer enough to have a hit. You need volume. You need virality. Or you risk vanishing under the weight of the algorithm. Even for the superstars, the rules weren't fair. Many didn't own their music. The rights belonged to labels, and the profits followed the contracts. Some artists signed away their masters early in their careers, never imagining the streaming era would arrive. Others watched their biggest songs earn millions of plays, but just a few $1,000s. Behind the glitz of playlists lies the quiet reality of broken ownership. A typical streaming payout? Around 0.003 per play. That's 0.3 of a cent. If you want to earn $1, you'll need over 300 plays. Want to make minimum wage off streams alone? Try getting 250,000 plays a month. For many artists, that's a dream. For some, it's an impossible hill. In an era where music feels more consumed than ever, the money rarely reaches the people who made it. So while platforms like Spotify go public and investors cash out, most artists are playing a volume game they can't win. It's like running a marathon on a treadmill. Constant effort, but little forward movement. The labels make licensing deals. The platforms grow user bases. The artists keep creating, hoping lightning will strike. And even when it does, the reward is often fleeting, split, or owed to someone else. Meanwhile, YouTube turns songs into content fuel. TikTok uses snippets for virality. And the labels? They license everything, everywhere. A 15-second soundbite can launch a career, but it can also reduce a song to a meme. In this world, the music is less about depth and more about traction. It's less about albums, more about loops. Less about meaning, more about moments. The real money isn't in downloads anymore. It's in data. Who's listening, when, and for how long. What device they're using. What they stream next. Platforms know how to monetize your attention, even when you're not paying it. That's the business model now. Music has become the bait for engagement, and engagement is what feeds the machine. But in Nigeria, the story takes a different turn. Here, streaming didn't just amplify the rich, it activated the grassroots. It offered a platform to artists who once had no means of distribution beyond their neighborhood. Suddenly, a laptop and an internet connection were enough to reach Lagos and London, and from Lagos to the world. Today, streaming is the lifeblood of the music industry, but the real heart it beats for is profit. The passion is still there, but it's optimized, packaged, and run through data funnels. It's the art of sound, filtered through the lens of analytics. Music is still made with soul, but it's sold through servers. Every time someone hits play, it's more than just a vibe. It's a data transaction, one that triggers a payout, feeds an algorithm, and adds another layer to your profile. And in this system, the question is no longer who's trending, it's who's getting paid. This is the money dimension, and this is just the beginning. The truth is, streaming didn't break the music industry. It rebuilt it in someone else's image. What started as liberation through access became consolidation through control. And while millions now discover music easier than ever before, the system deciding what gets discovered grows more invisible and more powerful by the day. But in every disruption, there's a new opportunity. The artists who understand the business, not just the beat, are the ones rewriting the next chapter. In this new age, creativity alone isn't enough. To win in the money dimension, you need strategy, ownership, and above all, leverage. Scan the QR to join the community.